And we must go on to the next one. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Father JobyKavungal from India, representing the Catholic Health Association of India, which is a huge, enormous network of more than 300 hospitals and more than 1,500 health centers. And we are hoping that the active involvement of Catholic Health Association of India could transform the scene of suffering in our country. Dr. Joby.
The traditional word for greeting in India is called Namaskaram. Namaskaram means, I bow the divine in you. I bow the divine in you. Some would say that no, that means I adore the God in you. Whatever it means. My first Namaskaram goes to PAL, Pontifical Academy of Life, for bringing different continents together who speak the same language. Palliative care, anywhere, everywhere. So Namaskaram to PAL. My second Namaskaram goes to all of you who are interested in palliative care and who are doing palliative care. Namaskaram. And you can do the Namaskaram later on to one another because it's nothing bad. I stand here on behalf of Catholic Health Association of India, which is called also CHAI. CHAI is also tea. Okay. So Catholic Health Association of India, CHAI. I have been working there as the Associate Director General for last 1.5 years. Recently I was selected as the provincial of my congregation is father, so I had to go back to my province. But still I associate with CHAI for passion and compassion. That's why today I represent the Catholic Health Association of India. And the topic given to me is this, the involvement of the community, palliative care in India. First, palliative care, current Indian context of this study is based on 2012-2013 survey. So the numbers may increase. 100 million elderly population. Later I learned that 600 million aging population in the world, and 100 million you find in India. 0.7 million new cancer patients a year. So it's increasing. And 6 million people needing palliative care in a year, for which only 2% have the access to palliative care. So that's the reality where we are working. Of course, grossly inadequate palliative care. At the same time, all the facilities are inadequate when it comes to palliative care. But still, we have around 900 palliative care units in India. But 90% of them are situated in Kerala. And Kerala is just one among the 29 states in India. That's a danger too, although that's a blessing. Only 249 facilities have a licensed and trained personnel to provide care. And that too, 74% in Kerala. How about the rest of India? Growing commercialization of healthcare. In 1991, India opened its market open. And until that time, hospital, healthcare was a ministry. But from then onwards, it turned to be health industry. Once it is ministry, it's service. But once it is industry, it's profit maximization. Around 80% of the healthcare expenses are out of pocket. And then catastrophic health events push families into debt, to poverty, and growing tendency to exploit the sick and the dying. The corporate are interested in health as long as you have something in your pocket. Once it is finished, they are not anymore interested in you because they need profit and they need to maximize the profit. Families shoulder responsibility of the terminally ill. Being this the context, most of the palliative care initiatives focus mainly on the pain management, which is very important. At the same time, you need a holistic palliative care approach, including pain management and care for the caregivers. Imagine a family, a mother, who has a patient there in the home. She has to look after everything and also the patient. She is turned out and burnt out at times. And that is the reason we need to give care also for the caregivers. But we have leading entities in India. We have Palliative India. You see, Dr. Rajagopal is here. And he has won Padma Shri Award, which is the fourth highest award in India. Highest award. And that too was given to him for working in the palliative care area. I think we should give him a good round. He is also known as the father of palliative care in India. And then we have Neighborhood Network Palliative Care. It's called NNPC. It's also in Kerala. And MNJ in Hyderabad, they have other regional centers too. Indian Association of Palliative Care. Then over 100 palliative care initiatives in the CHAI network, Catholic Health Association of India. So CHAI. Mary Glory was born in Australia in 1987, graduated from the University of Melbourne in 1910. She worked 10 years as a doctor in Australia. And then she wanted to come to India, and so she traveled all the way to India, and then reached India in 1920 as a woman doctor. And she joined in a convent and became a sister. And so she became the first non-missionary doctor in India. Together with her companions, 16 companions, she established or founded Catholic Health Association of India. Once she came in India, this was the situation. That was the community that she was working in, and her ambulance was the bullock cart. So that was the ambulance that she was using. And this was the community that she was working with. That's why she was telling, I am dreaming of a golden harvest. Golden grain, dreaming of a golden harvest. She was the grain. But today, 75 years down the line, Catholic Health Association of India is the largest not-profit healthcare network in India. We have 3,553 member institutions across the country. 90% of them are headed by women religious. 80% of them in remote medically rural areas where the corporate are not at all interested because there they cannot make profit. So our sisters are there. Hard to reach areas, but doing a wonderful mission there and operating in 11 regional units is called. So 29 states are divided into 11 regional units. And we have Father Vaikithapurambil Thomas, who is the head of Kerala. He's one of the regions. And he's also vice president of CHAI. At the same time, he's also heading a hospital. Formerly it was more than 1,000 bed hospital. Now it's 850 bed hospital, one of the famous hospitals also in India. And he has also palliative care unit. Now, after 75 years, we have not one sister doctor, but we have more than 1,000 sister doctors, 25,000 sister nurses, 10,000 sister paramedics, and more than 5,000 sister social workers. So also, large number of lay professionals are working in the same umbrella. Challenges, the palliative care. As I told you before, too many people to be cared for multicultural, linguistic, religious, socio-economic context. It's diverse. Lack of trained, committed persons are there. Caring for the caregivers. Burnout because a sister cannot dream of a vacation. But she cannot even dream of 5 days of retreat, annual retreat. Because if she will move from that place, nobody will be there to substitute her, and people will die because of lack of personnel. Commercialization of healthcare, so growing tendency to exploit the dying. Dying has become so costly in India. It may be elsewhere too. So financial resources. You see, this is a center called Pratyasha. Pratyasha means a ray of hope. So that center, the structure, is owned by CHAI, and we have their palliative care center. It's a model palliative care center. We have hub and spokes model. We have 6 spokes, and this is the hub. This is called Pratyasha, a ray of hope. I did my studies in Rome. I don't have a health background, but I do have a healthy background. I studied biblical theology. I'm specialized in biblical theology, communications, and pastoral theology. Putting them together, I did my PhD in the Gregorian University. So I was also associate professor in Gregorian University. There I learned about Bible is all about compassion, and Jesus is the compassion. And it was a beautiful learning for me, but I was trying it very hard to bring this theology into the ground. So Chai was a platform for me. Once I went there to that building, there was only one patient I saw, and the beautiful structure. And the people were not that happy to come there. Once I asked what is the reason, they told, it's a place of Catholics, so it may be a center of conversion. Because just near to that, there was a Sai Gita ashram where they did not know anything about this. You know what I did? It was during Christmas. So I went together with it, because we have a wonderful team in Chai. Together with that team, we went to different hospitals, especially the government hospitals, where the patients were there in verandas, left alone. Nobody said take care. So with a struggle after a struggle, we could bring some patients in. So it's a 25-bedded hospital, and we were able to have 24 people in real need. And we went around to different places, also to the Sai Gita ashram. We invited them, why don't you come one day to come and see our people there inside. There are Hindus, there are Muslims, there are Catholics, but there are human beings. Why don't you come? So 9 days we organized novena for Christmas. You come, don't give us anything. Come and see. And it was the beginning. No? So Pratyasha, ray of hope, because John 10 would say, I have come so that you may have life to the full. So sharing the fullness of life. And that would add life to the days of people. This motivated us. And what Pratyasha? What is our guiding principle? Palliative and end-of-life care. It's very difficult to define both. Why? I will tell you a story of a Krishna. Krishna met an accident, and he was in the street. He was begging for chai, tea, a cup of tea. This is what he could speak. And then an associate professor with a group of students brought Krishna to our place. Once he came, he was almost dying. Almost dying means he could not even say chai anymore. And then there were maggots, there were worms here at the back because he met an accident big as this. And then the doctor and the nurses took care of him for almost 16 days, where he came back to his consciousness slowly, and he told about his story, that he's a father, his name is Krishna, he comes from Krishnapura, near Banjara Hills. So, later again we asked him, what's your story, Then he told, yes, I want to go back, I want to see my children, my wife, my mother who is ill. But where to find this place? So with the team and of the parish, people from the parish and the youth and that professor and we went searching. Because this Krishna now could speak, Krishna could walk, and then we brought him. After long, we saw there a person missing, Krishna. And then we asked people and we brought him back home. Could imagine the joy of the wife who was crying and crying? Could imagine the joy of two children? Could imagine the joy of a mother who was ill, could not walk, who could not stand even? That's called also Pratyasha, a ray of hope. That's also called palliative care, end-of-life care. So both. And our approach is a whole person approach. Psycho-social, spiritual, religious. So it's whole person. It's not single. So Pratyasha homes, a mud house can be a Pratyasha, a ray of hope, a center for ray of hope. We don't need a big structure, even a mud house. I will explain to you this later. So it's a rediscovering hope, care for the caregivers, and the support. And you see, embedded in neighboring communities, Ecclesia of this. I told you, I invited different people for 9 days. And I also invited from the Vedic school, which is a very rich school in Hyderabad. We told, can you come and see? So Ecclesia, Ekkalayo, call from. To do what? Come to see and experience. Because you could see from there, you could see me, but you cannot see clearly. The same I cannot, because you have to come from yourself to the other. in order for you to see and experience compassion. You know what happened? These children came. They were 24 patients. They went to one another, school students, 7th grade students. They came, they began to talk to them. They asked, how is their story? Do you know what happened to these students? As they went back home, one child told his Papa, I will wash the car today, but give me 10 rupees. Mama, I will iron the clothes today, but give me 5 rupees. And then Papa and Mama, they were surprised why this kid is behaving like this. Because before he was arrogant, I want this, I want this, I want this. Now he's telling, I will do this, give me some money. Do you know what? Next week he came, because every week now they come. This boy, he came with him and he brought with him a teddy bear. Because the old lady once asked, what do you need? The old lady told, I need a teddy bear. And this boy went home. He could have asked even money for teddy bear, but he told, I will work, pay me. Why? Because I want to give a gift to that person who is there in Pratyasha. So that person, that boy, is a Pratyasha for a woman dying in the hospice. Similarly, the person who is dying experienced Pratyasha from a young boy who is studying in the 7th standard. So that is called Ecclesia optics. Volunteerism. So we began to have different people from different parishes, Protestants, Hindu Swamis, and even from Sai Gita Ashram, the students. So this is the community involvement once we build up. Before it was difficult, now we find it very useful. And the methodology is Ecclesia optics. We never tell them, we never convert them, but we ask them, be Pratyasha, come and receive Pratyasha from these people. It's not only poor people, dying people, oh my goodness, sympathize with them. No, learn from them. Learn compassion from them and be compassion from them. And we call it palliative care. We call it Pratyasha. And then I wrote here SBCC. Why? That is social behavior change communication. Because you see, the students, there is a behavior change communication happening in the students. And slowly with the peer group and the entire school, they conducted a carnival for Pratyasha. So that means there is a social behavior change communications. At the cost of what? At the cost of a mission called a ray of hope. Be Pratyasha. These are different pictures you will see where Pratyasha lived, where a ray of hope is expressed and shared. Ragi, ragi is a string that you would attach, because telling that you are my sister, you are my brother. On that day, you see, that lady is from Sai Gita Ashram, the daughter of that great Swamin. She came down to Pratyasha and she tied up everyone telling that you are my brother, you are my sister. And that's called Pratyasha. This is the national movement that we have, which you would like to multiply into 100 other centers. Pratyasha, leveraging the healing power of nature. You see, once we saw there, you see, the nature has the power to heal. If you cater to the senses, smell, taste, sound, touch, and sight. So what we did was, in front of our palliative care Pratyasha, we have seasonal fruits. We have vegetable garden at the right. We have flowers. We have water body. Because, we have also some birds, the chirping of the birds. We have also pet at the back, so for pet therapy. So, what happened to the patients? Once they began to listen to the noise or voice or the chirping of the birds, they began to smile. Once they began to see and hear the flowing water, you see the hope on their faces. So we bring them to the pet garden where they will see chicken, duck, moving, making noise, and you will see them. They don't talk, but they communicate. So we see and we realize that the nature has the power to heal. And that's why in a mud house, you can bring in nature. It's not expensive. But make it nature-friendly, where you can be a hope, Pratyasha, for even dying patients. We have bibliotherapy. Children and even the college students would come and read the books that they like to hear, because at times they cannot read anymore. So they help. Art therapy, one teacher who comes there every Saturday, asks, what's your story? And she would paint. Towards the end, this is your story. And you see in the eyes of the patient, hope. We have also counseling. Different types of counseling are there. So from the university, we have a tie-up that they send their counseling professors every week. So we have counseling there, and of course we have prayer. Different types of prayer. Those people who are Hindu, from Sai Gita, from different ashram, they come and they pray over them. And of course, we have this holistic care, 25-bedded Pratyasha. We have a training center. It's called Chai Training Center, CTC. I'm concluding, Rajagopal. And then we have only online courses. Now we have tied up. We have really working together with one heart and mind, of course, with Dr. Rajagopal and Palliative India for giving training. Because what we found out is that sometimes we lack persons, and oftentimes we lack persons, trained personnel. So we need to, there are no highly qualified trained personnel. So what we can do, we can give training to the caregivers. So they will become qualified caregivers. For these 2 words from Canada, Dr. Stuart and they have come together. They told and they have assured their help in training. Also, Miserio from Germany and also the University of Melbourne, they have come up and they promised and we are starting with a research center in Pratyasha. Why it's all for advocacy, influence policy in the government, so that tomorrow there will be more sensitization, more hands together, hearts together for a better world. T.S. Eliot once said, you see, Chai network, has a reach of huge numbers, grassroots presence, especially in the rural areas, potential for a social impact. Hub and spoke model for Pratyasha. This year, we hope we will have not one Pratyasha, but we will have one Pratyasha and 100 spokes Pratyasha. Simple existing infrastructure can make a difference. T.S. Eliot once said, searching for information, I lost my knowledge. Searching for knowledge, I lost my wisdom. You see, we are all searching for information, for knowledge. Let us not lose the wisdom, that is, to share the fullness of joy and life, add life to the days, and be Pratyasha. Thank you.